Hey, dear Pisces, I am Jamie Dawn, your evolutionary, revolutionary astrologer, bringing you this month's of April 2021 horoscope. And I'm really excited about the energy for this month. Hopefully you're riding the waves from your time of the sun being in your sign up until the equinox, and hopefully working through some very beautiful things that the month of March was offering for you. And certainly always grateful for you watching these videos, commenting, liking, subscribing, sharing, and coming back to them and maybe re-listening to see if there's any information that really resonates, or that maybe it's a confirmation of some things for you that has happened. Keep in mind as well that this applies not only to your sun sign, but if you have a Pisces rising or a Pisces moon. So let's jump into what April is holding for you. And this is how the planetary energy may influence your awareness and may influence your situations, that you have an opportunity to pause and make a choice of how you want to respond. So we kick off the month of April on the 3rd when Mercury will it'll leave your sign and enter Aries. And it's going to leave your first house and move into that second house, which can create you a possibility of you jumping to some conclusions, maybe having some quick thinking or some rash speaking, ready to give that answer at any given moment when it comes to your communicating your values, or when it comes to your income and the way in which maybe this is a perfect opportunity for you now to ask for what you feel you're valued when it comes to the work that you're doing, or the way in which you receive your income. And we have a new moon in Aries on the 11th that is going to help energize that. So as you lead up to this new moon, really be taking time, even though that Mercury in Aries will have you very quick thinking, it may drop in some new information, maybe a way in which you're going to communicate your worth or your value to the employer or to your spouse or to a friend, and being able to say, this is what I really need in order to feel good at this new moon. And that it's possible that you may be super protective over your values or over your job. It may find that this new moon in Aries brings out this territorial feeling where maybe you're taking on a project or a new client and you're feeling super protective over them. You're saying, you know what, I'm going to hold on to this and I'm going to do this myself, because it's a very independent energy here with Aries. And you also may be instinctively driven to make decisions, which is great, because now you get to really utilize and capitalize on your intuitive nature. And so when you are able to take that moment of pausing, checking in, doing a meditation, taking time for yourself to really deeply listen to your intuition, then when you're in the moment, you can make these quick decisions and find yourself in a position of authority and maybe elevated and becoming a front runner in the work that you're doing. Now, also keep in mind that second house has a lot to do with our physical surroundings, our senses, if you will, the physical possessions even. So it's possible that you may be dealing with some things around the home or around the office space. Maybe many of you Pisces are returning to an office space and you're like, you know what, I'm going to be super protective of my space because we're still in the middle of COVID. So I'm going to make sure that I'm only here certain hours of the day and only certain people that can come into my office space, or I'm still going to connect online even though I'm sitting at an office. Those are just some examples that may occur. It may also be that you're ready to purchase some new furniture, and that the way in which you care for that furniture is going to maybe feel different than before. That's just one example. The other thing that's going to be active for you is that you're going to have this beautiful sextile of Venus when she moves into Taurus on April 14th in your third house, activating the way in which you communicate. And so enjoying pleasures of life. Venus in Taurus loves to enjoy life, wants to be comfortable in life. And so with this being in your third house, it's going to activate how you organize your thought process and how you mentally and enjoy learning. So you may decide that you want to learn more about your client, your project, the methodology in which you're approaching your work, or approaching your home life, or approaching a relationship. And so in doing so, you want to be comfortable. And also Venus does influence our financial mindset. And so what you may be attracting to you is new income, because you've spoken what you needed, and when all this Aries energy in your second house, and here comes Venus and Taurus in your third house saying, okay, now that you have these things, how do you organize this financial abundance, or how do you organize the relationship euphoria that you may be experiencing in a way that lines up with your values, that also lets you organize it in a way that's useful and tangible. If you are just starting a relationship, let's say one started back in February, March time, it's important that with Venus and Taurus, she's going to have you slowing down, reminding you to take your time and to use the senses. And with this being in your third house, allowing yourself to learn maybe about your partner's situation, or about this dating potential. Maybe it's going deeper into yourself and being able to go, you know what, I'm going to keep using this thing called relationship to reveal more of where I need to evolve, reveal more of where I need to keep learning about myself and how I want to relate to another individual. It is a great time for those of you who are single, that if you want to connect with somebody and you want to continue putting yourself out there in the dating world, this Venus and Taurus time really could activate it and give you that chance. Instead of maybe diving in head first with all the Aries energy, you may find yourself going, I'm okay taking my time as I learn more about myself as well as this relationship. Because on April 19th, Mercury will move into Taurus, slowing in that mind down a little bit more in that third house of yours. And so there may be this activation where you want a very clear step-by-step process in how you engage with somebody else. Or it could be that you have all this information that you've been gathering that has been flowing so quickly and easily that now you're ready to organize it. Now you're ready to put in a very clear process that explains what you've been learning. Many of you may be asked to teach or to share or present what you have been experiencing and learning over the last couple of weeks and months. This is also where I would say an interest may get activated in arts or in the financial world, possibly property. Maybe you decide you want to get into real estate and you want to learn about it, but things that are tangible. So those of you Pisces who are looking at making a career move, maybe you're considering, I want to get into real estate because I like connecting with people and creating relationships. And I love the beauty and harmony in the home. This could be a beautiful time for you to do that. Especially as the next day, April 20th, the sun will move into Taurus in your third house, activating this learning opportunity that much more. There is an indication with the third house, it relates to our local community and short trips, short travel. And so you may now be looking at, we'll use the example of real estate, that you get into the real estate market, but you're traveling along, you're learning about the neighborhoods and you're learning about the outlying areas, suburbias, that sort of thing. Maybe you're asked to start planning for some trips in the future that continue to enhance your learning around this subject matter. April 23rd, Mars moves into Cancer, and this is going to be activating your fifth house. And this is a beautiful aspect for you because it is the aspect, the fifth house is all about pleasure. It's all about self-expression. It's also about that way in which you find your greatest joy. It is the house of joy for the sun. With Mars in Cancer, Mars is in its fall position here. However, it does have a wonderful activation for you with this beautiful trine that will be happening with your sun, if you are a Pisces sun, or your ascendant, if you are a Pisces ascendant, or your moon. And so it will be this Mars in Cancer in that fifth house also has to do with children and sex. And so you may find love affairs become really powerful for you, and that you become very protective over how you are expressing that. Maybe you're in a relationship, a bonded one, or maybe you're just starting one. You become very protective over that relationship. And it may be that you even become a little territorial. I will say the downside to this is watch the jealousy or the feelings of protectiveness that you have, where it becomes maybe overprotective or possessive in a way that you start fighting against others in order to protect your relationship. One way that you can use this energy in a positive way is that you can fight for your family, fight for your belief systems, fight for the things that really feel like home. And what is home? It may be fighting for yourself, because we've been constantly been invited to return back to home. And so it may be that you literally have to fight for your home. Some of you have suffered, and I'm holding this so gently in my heart. Some of you have suffered from COVID and being forced to make hard decisions about, do I sell my home? Do I keep it? Do I leave? That sort of thing. So this may be an opportunity, if you're fighting for that lease or that contract, that you are going to have to fight for it. And with your support system, you could find some good solutions, as well as I'll come back to the relationship piece, that you may find yourself really enjoying the deeper connection with your beloved, because you're able to fight for the relationship, and you're saying, this has such value for me that I will not let anybody harm it, including myself. This is also a great placement, Mars in Cancer, for DIY, so do your own improvements. So you may find that you get activated to look around your home and say, I think I want to add some plants, or I want to redo the kitchen or the bathroom, but I'm going to do it myself, and I'm going to save a little money and have some fun doing a project. That's also another way you and your beloved can enjoy each other. April 24th, Mercury and Uranus will be canoodling. I love this. It's in your third house. There may be a sudden shift in the values and the way that you're learning. So this could be an opportunity for you to find some material security through the organization of your thoughts, through teaching, launching your course, launching a project that pays you income, but also gives you an opportunity to share within your local community in a way that energizes both you and them. And I would venture to say that you will find, because we have a full moon in Scorpio on the 26th, 27th of the month in your ninth house, that what you may end up with is, as you energize your local community, one or two or more people will be so excited about what you're sharing with them that they're going to spread it all over the place. They're going to make it global, if you will. The other thing with this full moon in Scorpio is that it is in its fall position when the moon is in Scorpio. However, it will energize you, because there's this beautiful trine happening of deep involvement emotionally to whatever you're taking on or whoever it's happening with. So if you're looking to form stronger emotional bonds with someone or with a project, if you felt like you were just kind of going through the motions for a little bit, this full moon could have you letting go of that apathy, if you will, or indifference, and energizing into this anchoring of like, yeah, I'm in this to win it at all costs. Really deep feelings coming out. There could be some secrecy and how things are done in private. However, with this full moon being in your ninth house, I would imagine that it's more about you holding on to the things that you feel you're protecting, so that it doesn't harm or it doesn't diffuse the energy too far, too fast. I would sense that many of you Pisces will probably take on a higher learning. This could also be where you maybe finish grad school, or you finish a semester, or you finish writing a particular, let's say, playwright, or a particular paper or course. Again, I sense that the end of the month will have you releasing something very precious to you that you're emotionally attached to. It's like your project or your baby, if you will, and that you will release it, but you may be very intentional about who you release it to, sort of like a soft opening, or a beta test group, that sort of thing. Because here's the other thing, is that this full moon could energize you where when you feel completely safe and you feel confident in what you are releasing, that you can become very extroverted with it, and the intensity in which you express your emotions could be so out there. And then you could enjoy receiving the accolades and the confirmations and validations from others. The other thing with this ninth house is that belief systems or philosophical ways in which you find meaning and that search for meaning could be very active. And so you'll find yourself wanting to make sure that anything that you're putting your attention into and you're pouring your heart and soul into, because you do that, is worth your time, as well as it has this alignment with your truth, and that it does give you a sense of meaning and a sense of purpose. So I would offer that the month of April, if I had to give you a theme, Pisces, is really about finding your search for meaning, if you will, anchoring it in, and then sharing it with those that you feel like family, those that you feel like home with, those that you feel safe with. And that even though there's going to be quite a bit of outward activity, a lot of the inner alchemy that's going to continue to occur for you will show up in a way that I sense will give you some great gifts, and that they have far-reaching effects that you may not see immediately, but they are going to show up over time. All right, Pisces, I hope that this video helps. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. You know I absolutely love hearing from you. Find me at jamiedawn.com. Have such a good month.